Hi everybody, I'm getting ready to start a new playlist. I think it'll be very helpful in that showing you how to do these terms. I'm showing you what the name is, how to do it, and what you'll need to do the jobs. So I will leave a link in the description box for each of the things that I'm talking about. So tearaway stabilizer or interfacing or a certain presser foot or whatever, I'll leave those links in the description box, and they help me if you use those links and you purchase those things if you buy on Amazon. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload more videos, and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share if you find quality in my videos. Thank you. Bye. All right, for this technique, which is a blind hem stitch, this is going to represent your hem. So you fold it up and then you fold it up. This is your garment, this is your hem. So it looks like this. And this is the foot you're going to use. And this is an adjustable guide, and it will help keep everything straight, and you adjust it by moving this roller. Now, what you need to do with this is you need to fold it. So there's your hem. You're going to fold it back like this. And if you need to pin it, then go ahead and pin it. And you need to make sure that there's enough area here for your machine to stitch on, and then still be enough room over here to catch that fold. So I am just going to put a couple pins here out of the way of the machine, of the presser foot, hopefully. That way I'm not having any shifting. And for this stitch, we are going to use F. So it's the straight stitch and then a step to the left, a step to the left, a step to the left. So here you have your hem folded back. You're going to align that fold up with that guide. Now, if the stitch, when it comes over to the left, if it doesn't catch this, you need to turn this roller and move this guide out this way. But it looks like it's going the way it should. And this is really nice because these guides really help to keep everything straight. Now, you'll be able to see the thread on the other side because I'm using a dark thread on a lighter fabric. But if you use the same color, you're almost not going to notice it. And that's the hem. And then when you're done, just go and press these out really well. Kind of just mesh that thread into the fabric, and that's what it will look like on the inside. So getting the right presser foot for the job really can make your job a lot easier and a lot nicer. Okay, our next term is casein, and this is where it generally calls, if you're making a casing for an elastic, it'll say fold in a 1/4 of an inch and then fold in again for whatever width of elastic you're using. So if you are using a 1/2 inch elastic, then when you fold this over, you need to make sure that your elastic will fit in there between this fold and the stitching line, not this fold. Because if you go off that fold too much, then it might make it too tight. So this is a 1/4 inch elastic, so I'm just going to fold it here and this will be the casing. So you just use a straight stitch at 2.5, and you just stitch right alongside this fold here. And on this stitch, you will have to backstitch. And I went off. So if you take it all the way to the end, and backstitch again. And that's what it looks like. And you can see where I went off here. So be careful for that, but that's a casing. And then you will just use an elastic threader or a safety pin and thread your elastic through there. Okay, for darning, we are going to need the darning foot. And I think this is darning or quilting. And it's spring loaded. And what we're going to do is we'll have to take this part off here, and that's what our feet snap onto. So use the screwdriver that comes with your machine. I'm not left-handed, so this is kind of weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to take the screw completely out because this one, it doesn't have an open part. Okay, this part is open, so we're going to slide it under here and make sure this goes on top of the screw here for the needle. And just tighten it back up. Now I have a really bad habit of keeping all the feet from all my machines, and I interchange them, but they can't always be used from one machine to the next. So make sure that your darning foot is going to work on your machine. So I'm going to turn this back to a straight stitch. I'm going to use it at a 2.5. And for darning, you need to drop your feed dogs. We don't want the feed dogs manipulating the fabric. So what we're going to do is, let me create a hole in the fabric so we can see how it works. You'll need your stabilizer again. Or you can use a fabric of the same, similar weight underneath. And you could either fuse this to the underlying fabric, or get a fusible interfacing, something that will hold to it. And so 2.5, straight stitch, you drop your presser foot down. And then as it sews, it'll drop it down when it needs it. And then when your needle comes up, it'll lift the presser foot so you can move your fabric. This is also freehand embroidery, freehand quilting. So this is going to take a little practice with how fast you're moving and how you move your fabric. So basically darning, I'm going to try and go with threads in the fabric are, because now I've done this for years in repairing holes, but with this video, it's the first time I've ever tried this. I want to try and make it look as close to the fabric as possible, just because that's what I want to do. When you're repairing a hole, you want to make sure you get past the torn area into a nice part of the fabric because you're anchoring it to that. Not everybody likes to see this type of sewing over their fabric, so that's why I'm trying to make it look as close to the fabric as possible. And this is actually the first time I've done this. So if you're going to try and do this, try to get your thread to match your fabric as closely as possible, and then try to get your stitching as close as you can in the direction that the threads are. I don't know if you can see that. I'll pull it out a little bit and show you. Now I'm going to try and do it in the other direction, because if you look at it here, you can kind of see how the threads are going like this, but it could be the color of your threads that's just what's showing up. So I'm going to try it in a different direction. Okay, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but this is just how my mind works. When you do something like this, this is a functional type stitch. You're using it to repair something. But while I'm doing this, I'm thinking you could almost do a thread painting. Do a canvas or a canvas fabric or like a heavy denim. Use different weights and colors of thread to create a painting or a picture on your fabric. That's just where my mind goes when I start sewing or doing anything really. And so, you know, yes, it has a purpose and a function for this, but it can also be creative. So you guys, don't overlook those other things. You know, if you're a creative type, this is awesome. Sorry, I have some quilting to do for my daughter. I made her a quilt. I am not a quilter by any stretch of the imagination. So I just thought, oh, let's try something. Okay, so this is the darning going, because when I look at it, I see threads going this way. And so I was trying to do it like this. And then here I went up and down to see how it looks. You can tell obviously my thread is lighter than my fabric. And then you can do swirlies, and I started doing waves and then bigger waves, and I did my name, and yeah, so you guys, this is really cool. And I want to show you this because I did go off the stabilizer. This is why stabilizer is important. You can see how it ripples because I went off the stabilizer here. And if you keep to it, it just looks really nice. And of course, I spelled my name because why not? Anyway, so that's fun. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff in the near future.